Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1983's Eat at the Blue Fox. 1983's Eat at the Blue Fox, and this is actually part of the Peakorama Big 2-unit show put out by Vinegar Syndrome with Titillation, both directed by Damon Christian is his name. But for tonight, we are looking at Eat at the Blue Fox. That's the film that we're looking at tonight. And you can see the back of the DVD. We have some screenshots from this particular film, right there, just two. And some synopsises and some special features as well, I believe. Yes, some trailers and such. This is Eat at the Blue Fox, 1983. Eat at the Blue Fox is a film where really Ron Jeremy is taking the lead in his character, in the sex scenes, and this is an X-rated film where really shows Ron Jeremy's, just his chops in terms of his comedic performance, and also just his, of course, his sex scenes, but his comedic performance and his character acting and the way that he acts and the tension that he might have with other characters and his sarcasm and kind of getting what he wants. You really see Ron Jeremy shine in Eat at the Blue Fox. Eat at the Blue Fox details a place called the Blue Fox, which is really on the edge of town in Mexico. It's really in the middle of nowhere. As one character says in the film, it's the only toilet, in 100 miles. And it's a great location because a lot of people cross this bar, this place. And what they do is they come in and they see a show with dancing girls, and then the girls also are prostitutes as well, and they get to have sex with them. There's rooms upstairs, so on and so forth. What starts to happen in the film is the three main girls, you start to learn a little bit about kind of their connections with Ron Jeremy's character. Ron Jeremy runs the club, but in particular you start to see some connections with kind of a local political figure of some sort in Mexico, and a kind of alternate routes with the road that would take people away from the Blue Fox. So in the local area, kind of some alternate routes, a new road that's being built, and this tension with this political figure of sorts in not wanting the Blue Fox to succeed. You start to realize some romantic love interest that Ron Jeremy has amidst the three girls. You start to realize what the club means to Ron Jeremy, to the community, and also to this political figure. Some twists, some turns happen as the story goes on, and the Blue Fox not only changes, but also Ron Jeremy and the three main girls also have some changes for their future. This is Eat at the Blue Fox, a comedic X-rated film heavy on the storyline. Here it is, folks. Let's get into this movie right here. Eat at the Blue Fox. We're going to start with the music here. We actually have a song that you hear in the menu screen for this Peakorama double feature show, which, by the way, was about $16, something like that, through the Vinegar Syndrome website. And it's kind of, even though this film was 1983, there's this one song that has vocals, actually like the Blue Fox vocals, a song written about the movie itself that really sounds 70s to me. It really has kind of a 70s slow pop jazz type of sound to it that really just has maybe some old Billy Joel vibes, things like that. And in the rest of the movie really has a lower volume with the music. The music really takes the back seat. It's not in the forefront. And the music has jazzy elements, groovy, funky elements, and some synthesizer as well. Um, and we also have these two cues that almost sound like a music box or something that happens in the. There are two interesting title cards at the beginning of the movie that talk about the beginning, which I found interesting. And you could see the playfulness of the rest of the film just from those two opening title cards. And you kind of get this little weird music box atmospheric jingle of sorts with that. But the vast majority of the film has this underlying in the backdrop, in the background, grooves. And they really sounded 70s for the most part, even though we also had some synthesizer near the beginning of the film. I really noticed it a lot there. Now, we also have a live band at the Blue Fox filled with these Mexican guys who play piano, play guitar. They're dressed up. And there's also some relationships with those guys. One of the guys in particular, the piano player, as the Blue Fox changes, he changes, and also his connections with the local political figure in Mexico, in the area. Now, we get that music at the show, and that music reminds me always of kind of like that old man band in Desperately Seeking Susan with Madonna at the Magic Show. Rosanna Arquette, I believe, at the Magic Show with the pigeons and the doves and all that. That you kind of have that band at the local nightclub Magic Show. Now, we got some really interesting things in here because this is a film that has lots of dialogue, lots of character development, lots of things happening kind of in the dialogue, noticing the tension of what's happening, noticing the fun and the romance. And I wonder how much of this was improv from Ron Jeremy, because I know Ron Jeremy in the modern era has like kind of a comedy show. He does stand-up comedy. And in here, he does stand-up comedy before the girls come out, kind of as the pre-show. And there's just such a great vibe. If I if I love movies that are about hotels, and if I love movies, that take place late at night, and if I love movies that deal, with the sleazier part, the underbelly of the city and things like that, I also love movies that deal with nightclubs or magic shows, those clubs at the edge of town, and the Blue Fox is one of those clubs. It looks legit. We got flashing lights. We even have a bed on stage. There's even talk about a donkey act. There's even chili that's served that in one particular scene might cause diarrhea. But lucky enough, for $50, you can also get a cup of something that will cure your diarrhea. You'll find out about that when you watch Eat at the Blue Fox. And there's just that vibe, the bar, the kind of the floor where all the tables are really reminds me of what you would see at a comedy show, the way people are seated. And you have guys and girls in the crowd. People are laughing, having a good time. Somebody might come up from the crowd, go up on stage and, say they want to have sex in the bed. Somebody else comes up on the crowd, and then his girlfriend takes him by the arm and says, "You're not going up there and having sex. What the hell are you doing?" And we also have kind of these rooms upstairs where people can go and have sex with the dancers. And there's like a red hue at times up there, kind of a red light. And there's just some really candid dialogue. Now, when Ron Jeremy does his sex scenes in this particular film, he's talking like crazy. And he's saying just, kind of sexual, crazy, almost hilarious stuff in just the way that he acts when he's having sex in this film. Now, I will say the vast majority of the sex scenes in this film are with Ron Jeremy. And then there are a couple, maybe two or something, that are other people, attendees at the club. Keep your eyes peeled if you know some of the X-rated actresses from the golden age here of porn. You're going to recognize them, and they might have some cameos in the film. And there's just some really. I was kind of shocked because the film almost plays like it's not an X-rated film. It's playful, it's comedic. it's fun. I think that's the main word for Eat at the Blue Fox. It's fun and it's colorful, actually visually, and also just in the situations in the dialogue. We even have a plane with a blown front tire. We have a car. You know, um, we have an interesting kind of way of bringing women to the Blue Fox involving a local police officer. We have, which reminded me of a. This is insane. It reminded me of the movie that I absolutely love, directed by Dan Aykroyd, called Nothing But Trouble, with John Candy's role in that particular film. And you kind of have just a really kind of isolated community. It almost reminded me a bit. I know it's a different location, I believe, but it almost reminded me a bit of the Chief Woodenhead story in Creepshow 2. Kind of the atmosphere and the environment of the location around Eat at the Blue Fox. Um, the movie really kind of details this nightclub, and it has Ron Jeremy at his most desperate, um, most playful, and on all sides. It's all here, even a bit of romance. This is Eat at the Blue Fox from 1983, directed by Damon Christian. And this is 83 minutes, and for 83 minutes, you are 100% at the Blue Fox. There's like a little section of the film where you're on the road towards the Blue Fox. And we also have Kitten Navidad, who's in the other film Titillation on this disc. She's kind of the cigarette girl, but she also gives $3 blowjobs in the at the club. The sex scenes are wild and not too wild though, and they're really dominated by Ron Jeremy for the most part. And we have two guys, one girl scene, no lesbian scenes in the film. But we got great sex scenes in the movie, and like I said, you're getting sex scenes in here that are great, but you're also getting a ton of dialogue and storyline, and just like it's like a regular movie. So there are times where you'll get some hot and heavy sex scenes, and then all of a sudden you'll go about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and there's just things happening with the characters. So yeah, definitely wild stuff. One of my favorite sex scenes in the whole film is actually the first one, and I also love the dance that the three girls do near the beginning of the movie. And if you're a fan of butts, you're gonna love that. If you're a fan of breasts, you're gonna love this movie for one of the girls. I think it might be the girl on the cover. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know her name, but she is in the movie a lot in here. There's just some ludicrous, crazy things that happen in the storyline as well. And like I said, in this video with diarrhea and a donkey, and just the situations are just outlandish and just really sophisticatedly done at the same time. Eat at the Blue Fox, 1983. Thank you so much for watching the Ted Rue Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Eat at the Blue Fox. Thank you so much, and have a great night.